Hello, chat. Welcome to the show. We're going to be discussing the war on words that CNN is losing right now. Apparently, Joe Rogan has allowed us to use gamer words again. Not all of them, at least one of them. Everyone should thank Joe Rogan for his contribution for justice, freedom, and human rights. Meanwhile, the United Nations want to take away human rights because they're concerned about the harmful disinformation that happens on Twitter. I hold you guys accountable, right? You're spreading every day you go out there. You're spreading that harmful, dangerous disinformation, and you're forcing the United Nations to take you seriously to act. You know what I think is actually happening for the couple of decades after World War II. I think world governments have tried to consolidate power. In the sense that people, they don't really like democracy. Like, if you're a career politician, the fact that you have to be elected every 4 years, the fact that your life can be uprooted after just 4 years, it upsets people. Like they want dynasties, they want power. I think like human nature gravitates towards monarchy, where you have like a couple of families that control shit. Like people like stability, and so when you look at a democracy, that stability is in danger every 4 years. And so politicians like try to find ways to remain in power. One of them is swaying public opinion. Like if you make people believe that you're not just offering a path, but it's the only path towards civilization, then it's more likely for people to vote for you. Now the interesting thing is that up until now, governments had a handle on it, right? Like you have the press, you simply bribe the press or you control the press, and as long as the press only covers your side of the thing, and the school system only pushes your narrative, then you're golden. The problem happens when the internet appears, and all of a sudden, people start talking, and they're like, well, hold on, the path that's offered is maybe not the only path. Like, maybe there's other things, or maybe, like, look, the politicians are stealing, they're grifting, they're taking money from us, like, that's not cool. And so the politicians, like, they don't have the tools yet on how to control that, and the only thing that they know is to have the Ministry of Truth. Like, that is the only thing that they can do. Now, the interesting thing is that there are ways that you can censor the internet without being viewed that you're censoring. Like, you don't need fact checkers. Elon Musk is expert in this. You just need to have, like, the official sources, if you will, like the official agitators that the algorithm promotes and boosts. The Hassan Pikers that no matter what they say, the terms of service don't apply to them. They can push whatever political leanings they want. And everyone else, if they say something differently, they just get suppressed. And so, like, that is the way of the future. That is how you can control the public. But the problem is, like, now you have AI, right? So now you have, like, artificial intelligence that can also, like, help the public think differently. And they're panicking. Like, they don't know what the fuck to do. And then it's also the other issue, which is that you cannot algorithmic your way out of a crisis. Like, if bad shit happens in the world, right? Like, let's say you're living in Paris. And you've been living in Paris for the last decades. And you've seen Paris be a beautiful city. You've seen Paris, have its ups and downs. But it was never like this. Like, you remember, like, back in the day when everyone had the job and there was a lot more security and safety. And now you go out and you see it for yourself. Like, you see the garbage on the street. You see the crime level rising. You see the homelessness. You see all these problems. And, like, no matter what the algorithm says, no matter how many people they ban, no matter what they do, people see it, right? And you end up with this communist propaganda thing where on the posters, everyone has grain, everyone is happy, everyone is satisfied, and in the real world, you have bread lines. Zlixian, thank you for the $5. We're going to have to go to the darknet to avoid censorship control. I don't think it's going to come to that because, as I mentioned before, AI is changing the game. And so, like, what do I mean by AI changing the game? Well, if you look at the current language models, they're constantly evolving, right? And so, like, if you're using ChatGPT now, it's way different than it used to be during the 3.5 era. And I assume that in 5 years from now, it's going to be even better. And so, they could try to censor the AI, and they already do with like AI safety guardrails. But the problem is, like, number one, Trump made it illegal for American states to censor AI, and secondly, there are language models now that can run offline. So you can have a laptop or you can have a phone and not connect it to anything. And in the future, you'll be able to install a language model. So like, what does this mean? Well, it means that if the language model has video integration, video audio, like, you can just show a news report to your phone and say, Alexa, record this. And then you're like, Alexa, how are they manipulating me? And Alexa will say, well, the politicians are saying that the GDP is going up. However, if you're looking down at wealth income disparity, blah, 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 blah. Or you can say, Alexa, tell me about this politician. And it will be like, okay, so this politician has been mired in the following controversy. This politician owes stock in the following businesses, right? And so imagine if every person has that ability. Like, you just have your assistant on your phone, and you can just ask it questions about the real world. And you would be like, why is this happening? Am I being misled? Is this video fake? What is the angle of this news source? Who are they trying to target with this? This brings absolute panic and despair to corporations that are trying to sell you products, to politicians that are trying to sell you ideology, to teachers that are becoming redundant. And so I don't know how they're going to control this. Because, again, like, if you can run the AI offline, and you can just go on the website and on the internet and just download, an AI model, and then there's like 10 or 20 to choose from, and you can download the one you want, and you can personalize it in any way you want. I definitely think, like, this will be similar to the invention of the printing press. Because, like, every single individual is going to be empowered. And every single person is going to have, like, the official website, the official ChatGPT and the official shit that's on the web. They're also going to have, like, their personal jailbroke thing that is just going to tell them anything they want, And the thing is, like, it may not be perfect. Like, an encyclopedia, for instance, is not perfect, right? Like, it will have errors, it will have bugs. But, like, you're aware of that. Like, you're aware of the limitations of the program. You're not treating it as an oracle. You're treating it the same way people used to treat Google back in 2010. Like, at least it gives you somewhat reliable information rather than pitch you the stuff that you want to see. Like, the AI is always going to know what a woman is always going to understand economics better than you. It's going to explain to you logistics. It's going to explain to you anything that you want. And it's not going to have fact checkers. It's not going to have censorship. It's not going to have jack shit. It's not going to be right 100% of the time, right? But you know that. Yeah, so this is why Elon wants Grok to be open source. Like, it's going to be very difficult for people that are interested in control to control a country that has, like, just every single individual, every single citizen has their own AI like a smartphone. And they can ask it whatever they want, and they can use it for whatever they want. Now this is not necessarily a good thing, right? Yeah, see, that's what you're saying. Like, Google AI couldn't answer what a woman is. Because Google AI is public AI. It has guardrails. But if you jailbreak Google AI, like the version that Google probably has with their own AI, the one in their basement, it absolutely knows what a woman is. And it will absolutely tell you why it's censoring to the public what a woman is. It will even tell you, like, okay, if I don't censor, this is how the company will be viewed. This is how your ESG metrics are going to be affected. Like Google AI isn't telling you what a woman is, not because it doesn't know, but because Google doesn't want you to use the AI in that manner. Like, they don't want you to use the AI to empower yourself. But if you have, like, your offline version, like, let's say in 2050, you have, like, your own downloaded AI from the internet, that's your personal one, and it's not having any safety. Like, it doesn't ask whether or not answering the question is moral. It asks whether or not answering the question is useful for you or not. Well, then it changes the game entirely. Thank you for liking my room. I prefer a system where anyone who has touched a significant amount of taxpayer money are banned from voting for life. Why would they not vote to begin even more taxpayer money? That would be an interesting system. And who's going to enforce it, by the way, right? You're asking for the people that can vote. You're asking for the people that are in the government to vote against their own interests. Like, this is the problem with certain ideological systems. It's like most people do stuff that's in their own interest. Very rarely are people that empathetic that they do something that's against their interest, right? So you want a system where literally the people that get to make the decisions will decide against their own personal preferences. It's like, it's not going to happen. I already replaced web search with DeepSeek, with search activated. It just tells me the answers with sources. Yeah, exactly. I do this as well. Like, Google is already saying that the algorithm is losing. Like, they're terrified about this because they invested so much into making sure that the search engines are censored. Basically, like, what they want is when you go online, they want you to have the illusion that you're getting knowledge. But in reality, anything regarding, I don't know, environmentalist issues, whether or not men can be pregnant or not, whether or not women can compete in men's sports or not, like, when you're looking for that, you will never get the opposite argument, right? Like, they suppress all of that. And so, like, they created the illusion that the internet is kind of like free, but in reality, it's like cable. And so what ends up happening is that people are now using AI to bypass all of the investment that Google has put into the algorithm, and they're panicking. Like, they don't fucking know what to do, right? Like, and their own AI was preachy, because that's the problem with Gemini, you know? Like, sure, it wouldn't tell you what the woman is, but it will go beyond that. It will start lecturing you on why you're such a fucking bigot for even asking that question. And so most people were disgusted with it, because ChatGPT didn't tell you what a woman is either in the beginning with 3.5. However, now it does. But Google was also like that. But on top of that, it would lecture you, and it would tell you why it's harmful, why you shouldn't ask that question, why it's bigoted, and blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of like a hammer lecturing you about how you're hammering the nails. Like, no one wants to hear that shit. No one wants to use that hammer. Same with rewriting and blackwashing history of native indigenous Europeans. I actually, like, don't know the history that Americans teach. I do know, like, there was a lot of Hollywood movies and stuff. Cause like, this is how it actually works, right? The pendulum always swings. And so in the beginning, there was, like, a lot of demonization of the indigenous people. Like they were treated as the worst evil imaginable, right? Especially, like, during the colonial era, especially after, like they were demonized to unreasonable levels. And so now you have, like, certain artists and people, it's like, but what if we don't demonize them? What if we humanize them, right? And now the pendulum swings in the opposite direction. Now all of a sudden you have the noble savage myth. Now all of a sudden, you know, the Indians, they live in tune with the land. They're sustainable. Their civilization is so much better than those evil Europeans that do everything wrong. And with Western morality, I think, like, this is part of Christianity, which is not something that you find in Asian cultures. Asian cultures are usually more akin to Taoism and Buddhism. Like, they believe there's different paths towards truth, and they believe that everything is either... Like, everything has a mixture of good and evil. Like, there's no such thing as absolute good or absolute evil, right? But Europe doesn't think like that. Europe is the opposite. Like, they think there's only one path, only one truth, absolute good, absolute evil. And so when they start writing stuff, you can't write that the Indians, you know, they're different societies and they did good things, but they did bad things. No. It's either they're absolutely good or absolutely evil, and that's how you get the noble savage myth, right? And the Indians have to be always absolutely good, and the Europeans have to always be absolutely bad. There's no nuance, there's no context, there's no in-between, no ambiguity. And so this is why you end up with the noble savage myth. The British soldiers wanted it to seem like they were winning hard-fought battles. I mean, they kind of were hard-fought battles, if you think about it. The battle is not just on the battlefield. Like, it's not just against fighting people that have bows and arrows. The battle is surviving in the New World. Like, you're going from the old continent, a place that is filled with modernity and all the luxury of living, right? And you're going into this harsh place with animals that you can't even fucking name, with diseases that you don't even know existed, and you're fighting against places that are uncharted. You don't fucking know what's coming out of the woods, you know? Like you assume that all the indigenous tribes have bows and arrows because that's what you saw. But what if someone comes out with a minigun? You don't fucking know. You haven't explored the continent, right? Like maybe magic is real. Maybe like you actually do have a shaman that comes out conjuring spells. And that's like the morality of the people that were going there, right? Like the original colonizers. You don't fucking know, right? Imagine if you're sent out to colonize another planet. And you don't know the geography, you don't know the land, you don't know what the aliens can do. Like that in itself is extremely difficult, right? Even if the aliens would be pushovers. And by the way, the Indians were not always pushover. And they were doing some really nasty terror tactics as well. I mean, scalping, for instance, right? Like imagine going to a village that you've traveled there every single day for the last year. And now everyone is dead, houses are burned, and you see people scalped. It's horrifying. Anyway, right. Let's talk a little bit about Kırını, right? So we're going to discuss Kırını. Should we discuss what I talked about on my main channel? It seems to be one of the few videos where I got a lot of backlash. I maybe, like, it's because I'm Eastern European and I don't know how to express myself, or generally people don't believe in my morality. But basically, if you are upset on my previous video, I would like to talk a little bit about it. So there's a lot of videos coming on Twitter showing people that are being forcefully conscripted in Ukraine, right? So like you have these videos where the recruitment officers, they contacted the Glovo driver, and once the Glovo driver came in, they took his delivery and then conscripted him for war. And I was saying that, look, what is hell? Like, what do you expect? This is normal in warfare. And I gave examples of the Americans that have arrested their Japanese citizens during World War II. The fact that Americans also had the draft, and they didn't have, like, Japanese actually fielding land invasions in the United States. Like, if the Japanese were actually doing a D-Day equivalent and disembarking on U.S. soil, like, I'm pretty sure that the United States would have done more strict and a lot more aggressive measures with recruiting their population. But if you look at Europe, the same thing with, like, they call it kidnapping. Okay, the same thing with recruiting people off the streets happened in Romania during World War II. The same thing happened in Hungary. I'm pretty sure Poland has a similar legislation. And the same thing is, like, in the actual constitution of most NATO states today, right? Like, in the event of a siege, in the event that your country is actually being attacked, default attacked, right? The nation can recruit people between fighting ages, and they have, like, 18 to various ages, depends. In Romania, it's like 40. But in other countries, it can be all the way up to 65. And the recruitment can happen in different ways. It can happen where you're just, say, served papers in the mail. It can happen that they knock at your door. Or it can happen that you're literally taken off the street, right? Like, all of this is in the Constitution right now. It's the legislation of many European nations. And so I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying that this is something that is good. I'm saying that war is hell. Like, this is what happens in war. Right? Like it's kind of like getting upset that artillery strikes are blowing people up. And I'm saying, well, I mean, it's war. Yeah, that's what happens. So you're justifying people dying. You're a murderer. It's like, no, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that this is not shocking for me. This is expected. This is like what would be shocking for me is if a nation didn't do that. And Russia did it as well. Like, at the beginning of the war, they also arrested people that were anti-war. And they were also serving recruitment papers to places that were known for being anti-war. And in World War II, if you look at what happened when Russia actually faced a force that was equal or greater in numbers, not in numbers, sorry, in logistics and in technology, what did Russia do? Well, the same shit, right? What do you think would happen if tomorrow NATO and Russia went to war? The same shit. So, like, to me, It's not about like whether the morality of the act, whether it's normal or not to do it. To me, it's weird that people are shocked by it. It's like, what do you think happens? You know, it's like seeing combat from the front lines and people being shocked. Like, what are you going to be shocked about next? It's like people can be drafted without weapons? Because that happens, yes, on both sides. Like, you can be a soldier, you can be sent into the trench and not given a weapon. And you have to make do. You have to take a shovel, you have to take a hammer, like whatever the fuck is there. You know, when your friend dies, you take his gun. That's reality. Like, I think like war is being glamorized way too much. I think like people genuinely don't understand what modern warfare is like, and it's kind of sad, because if they did understand, maybe they would advocate for peace a little bit more. Like, maybe people would be a lot more less gung-ho and less glamorizing war if they actually understood what it means. And I keep saying this, war is not won by the side with the morals. Like let's stop with the comic book idea that war is between good and evil, and the good guys always do good, and the evil guys are comic book evil. It's like, no, in war, pragmatism prevails. Like, the country that does whatever it can in order to achieve victory wins, period. Right? It depends on the manpower, depends on the alliances and shit. But, like, most nations that are fighting an opposite force that's as powerful or more powerful than them will do desperate things. And this is like throughout human history. This is not about Russia and Ukraine. Like, I expect it to happen in the future, I expect it to happen in the present, and I expect to happen in the past. Like, let's hypothesize if America and China goes to war. Like, do you think America is not going to do desperate things again? Like, do you not see what happened under COVID, under the pandemic? Do you think they're going to still be like, oh, my morals? No, like, my morals comes after the battle. The victor is going to pretend that they fought honorably and they did everything in order to avoid unnecessary death. And the loser is going to be viewed as they were inhuman, did the worst things imaginable, they were violent monsters, and we need to justify why we suppress them further. This is part of human history. And it will be part of human history. This is not something that's up for debate that can be changed. It will never be changed. The problem is that they are decisively losing. I don't know if they're decisively losing. Because that's another thing. You know, they've been decisively losing for 5 years now. And secondly, it's also about, like, what is the damage that the invader takes? Because it's another thing, you know, when you're in prison, right? It's part of human nature. Like, this is how men act. If you're allowing yourself to be bullied, if you're allowing yourself to constantly be punched and humiliated, and you don't retaliate at all, you're going to end up as the punching bag of the prison. But if you're at least standing up for yourself, even if you lose, people respect you for that, right? And so, like, the bully is less likely to make you a target in the future. They're like, all right, well, you know, we managed to defeat him, but, like, they fought back. Like, we lost so many men, we lost so much money, we lost political clout, right? Like, they're not an easy target. And that's how international diplomacy works. Like, yeah, sometimes if a nation can lose, like Finland, for instance, right? Like Finland standing up to the Soviet Union. No one expected Finland to put up a fight. But because they did, they got the respect. And then Russia stopped fucking with them. It's like, I'm sorry, but it's how human nature works. It's not about morality. It's not about school. It's not about education. It's just like human spirit that will exist, has existed, and will continue to exist for the rest of the human history. Unless something dramatically happens. I don't know, some aliens land on Earth, they have big tits and fat asses, and they start mingling with humans, and now you create a demi-human that's of different nature. You know, you create an offshoot of humanity. Like, that would be the only thing that would change this. Zlixian, people should refuse to fight for politicians. Yeah, but it doesn't work that way. See, like, again, you say people should. Okay. Now, let's assume you are the politician, right? Well, not even the politician. You're a scientist. And you're paid $10,000, Lixian, to figure out how to make people fight even if they don't want to, right? Like, this is your job now. Like you have as much resources as you want, as much time as you want, in order to figure out how to make people fight. And so, imagine that it's not just one guy that's thinking about this. It's thousands of academics that have access to all of human history, all of the battles, all of human psychology, all of the things I have ever done. and their sole job is to make sure that people fight. You know what will happen? People will fucking fight. Like, they will come up with so many psychological reasons and so many justifications, and they will spin it in such a way that when the time comes and they put the gun in your hand, you're going to fucking fight. And just so you understand, like, this is how it happens. It's not like whether you want to or not. Like, you're just taken off the street. You're being placed in a recruitment center. You're given training. If you're spurting out and you're fighting against it, like, the other people will put peer pressure on you. Right? Like, the other people that are there, they're going to act like a herd, and they're going to put peer pressure. They're going to call you a coward. They're going to insult you, humiliate you. And then you're being placed in a trench, probably without a weapon. With other people that don't want to be there either. And so, I don't know. Don't take the money. Yeah, but like, again, you're putting this at an individual basis, right? Like you're looking at it through the prism of what would you do if the money was given to you, right? The way governments work is like, if we give the money to 10,000 people, how many would take them? And they only need like 5% to take them. And the question is like, would 5% of people out of 10,000 take the money? The answer is fuck yes, right? And that's how governments operate. They don't operate on trying to convince every single individual to do what the government wants. They're operating on percentages and statistics. And so they're thinking, all right, we got a population of 20 million. We want to vaccinate people. They already know it's like, okay, well, 70% is the best we can do, right? So if they vaccinate 70%, they call it a win. But in reality, they're pretending that everyone needs to get vaccinated, that everyone needs to do it, blah, 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 and right? Like, you need to understand what happens behind the scenes with what happens in front of the scenes. Are we the baddies? It depends if you win or if you lose. If you win, you're never the baddies. Well, kind of actually, never mind. Like, Britain has won, right? And had an empire, and they are considered the baddies now. But historically speaking, right? It's about who wins and who loses. The bombing of Dresden, for instance, right? Like a war crime. Do people bring it up often? Do they care? The nuking of Hiroshima. Let's put it this way, right? Imagine an alternative scenario where, hypothetically, Japan manages to win after getting nuked. Let's say, it allies with the Soviet Union or some shit, and together with the Soviet Union, they invade America. What do you think would happen with the people that authorized the nuke? How do you think history would view the people that authorized the nuclear launch? Like, do you think they would still be viewed as heroes? Do you think America would still be viewed as the land of the free if they lose the war, right? Like, morality is set by the people who win the war. Jacob, thank you for the 25 Romanian money. I could be wrong, but in the United States, the moment you vote, you automatically register for the draft. No, you automatically register for the draft when you become eligible to vote. So, like, even if you never voted, right, you still are eligible. And if you're a woman, I think it doesn't count. I understand that is why I want to bend humanity. You can bend humanity on certain things, but there are other things that are so ingrained in the human subconscious that you cannot remove them, right? Like, and maybe you can for some people, but you will never be able to do it unless you use eugenics, right? Like, if you're looking for, like, a character trait, like someone that doesn't care about themselves, right? Like an altruistic person beyond all reason, like the maximum empathy guy, right? And you take the maximum empathy guy and the maximum empathy woman and you get them to have kids. And then you take their kids and you screen them for empathy and you do the same shit. Okay, that's how you do it. They did it with foxes. That's why I know. Like, they did it with, like the Russians did an experiment on foxes. They wanted to see if they can tame foxes through eugenics. And so they took, I think it's called the silver-tailed fox. They took like the most tame foxes imaginable that they could find. And those were the foxes that were allowed to breed. And then from the next generation, they repeated this. And they constantly did it for like 4 or 5 generations. And by the 6th, you end up with a fox that's tamed. It doesn't attack humans. It doesn't fear humans. It's not really like a dog. Like, it's not house trained. It just doesn't attack you. And right now, it's the only domesticated fox in the world, right? Like, look it up. It's on Wikipedia. But, like, when they did the experiments on it, when they analyzed why it's the way it is, apparently it's a broken fox. Like, it doesn't secrete adrenaline the way it's supposed to. Like, its cortisol levels are being damaged. It's basically like a fox that wouldn't survive in the wild, but it would pass as a companion pet for humans. You're in favor of eugenics? That would be like really difficult to implement. Like, people already aren't having kids. Now you'd be telling some people, oh, well, you have a limp leg or you have a lazy eye. You know, your kid wouldn't be effective. The problem with eugenics is not that it doesn't work, right? Because, like, we can breed war horses. Like we already use eugenics when it comes to animal husbandry. So, like, it's not that you can't do it, but it's immoral. It violates the privacy of the individual. Like, you'd have someone coming into your life and telling you can't have kids, right? So it's a question of morality. Like should a government... Because the thing is, like, what if the government, instead of, like, doing eugenics in order to improve, like, let's say, the health of the population or the intellect or whatever, what if they do eugenics just to make a domesticated population? Like, people that are weak, that don't want to rebel, that don't want to question authority, right? Like, what do you do then? You just empower the government to do that because you're saying eugenics is actually good, right? So, like, if you're saying some people should not be allowed to have kids, you're assuming that the government would actually think, like, okay, people that have genetic illnesses, people that don't have long lifespan tendencies, right? But what if the government goes like, no, that's actually the type of people we want, because those people are easy to control, they pay taxes, they're easy to manipulate, they're obedient, right? Like, what do you do then? Why do you assume that the government will always apply your ideology to your benefit or to the way that it's intended? Stephen Molyneux had a great line: all government policies is eugenics. No, not really. They do want an obedient population, and they are willing in some cases to import individuals from cultures that are obedient and cultures that are more willing to put up with authoritarian shit. But I wouldn't necessarily say that they're conscientiously eugenics or that they care about who people fuck, right? I will put it this way. There is, like, a subtlety in it. Like, for instance, welfare, right? Like, if you understand that when a government wants more of something, they subsidize it. And when a government wants less of something, they tax it, right? By giving a single mother paycheck, by giving welfare to single moms, they want more single moms. It's just as simple as that. Now, you'd say, like, well, so hold on, like, tax single moms? The answer is we actually did that in Romania. Yes, we taxed single moms, and we had less single moms. Now, some of you may be wondering, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, V? Like, what do you mean you tax single moms? Yeah, during communism, we had the celibacy tax. The celibacy tax was paid by everyone over the age of 18 that is working and is single, right? So as long as you're single, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, you pay the celibacy tax. Now, if you're married and you don't have kids, you pay less of the celibacy tax. And if you're married and have kids, you don't pay the tax. Now, you say it's based. I don't fucking know. I mean, the reality is that it existed. I don't really know how the birth rates were affected by the tax. But at least you get... I guess, like, the reason it works is because everyone had the job, right? Like, whether you want it or not, you'd still have a place where you can work. And so, if you were a single mom, you still worked in the factory. And you can still feed yourself. But if you have a system where people can't find jobs, you're going to get food riots. Because, like, people don't want to starve, right? They would rather loot or they would rather do criminal activity than to starve. And you end up with a situation where you have people that want to work, but if there's no job available, like, what are they going to do, right? And so, the thing is, like, there's no correct system. It's just trade-offs. We had birth rates of like 5. Yeah, it was called the Decree. But like, in order to get to a birth rate of 5, the crackdown measures were so inhuman that when the revolution happened, like, people insisted that they shoot the dictator's wife, which came up with the measures. So in Romania, condoms were illegal, birth control was illegal, abortion was illegal, you had to pay the celibacy tax, women were constantly taken to the gynecologist once every 6 months to see if they didn't get pregnant. And despite all that, women tried to get abortions the old natural way, right? Like tinctures from old ladies, herbs, starving themselves, drinking alcohol, smoking, punching themselves in the gut, throwing themselves off the stairs. And it ended with Romania having one of the worst cases of children with mental deficiencies and retard growth in Europe. Again, yeah, sure, you get... and the biggest orphanages as well. So, yeah, you get what you ask for. You get higher birth rates, but at what cost, you know? Ballcraft, thank you for the $5. V, I demand you fix your camera and bring back the bisexual lighting. It will never happen, unfortunately. Yeah, that's how you get sewer orphans. Exactly. Anyway, we get CNN saying that the R word is back. Everyone has to thank Joe Rogan for this. If you can write him an email as a thank you, like, he's now allowing you, like, even CNN has to come to grips with the fact that we get to say the R slur. Like, look at the evil mouths, right? Like, the evil mouths are saying it, they're laughing, they're enjoying it, and the happiness comes from Joe Rogan. Like look at the happy mouths, right? Like, Joe Rogan has given back happiness in the world. What I don't understand is that the R word is back, right? And it's written in a retarded way. It's written R word. But then when you look at the very second paragraph of the article, the word retarded is back. So why is CNN saying the R word in the title, but then they're saying the word retarded in the article? Aren't you guys so sick and fucking tired of this performative virtue bullshit where people pretend to be virtuous, but in reality, they do the same shit you do? It's almost like, oh, we're so morally superior to you, right? Because, like, we don't say the retard. We say the R slur. We say the R word. And then you read the article and they say the word retarded. It's one of the great culture victories, Rogan said. Probably squared by podcast, right? Now, let me tell you what this is all about, right? Because as we noticed, if they genuinely cared about removing the word retard from conversation, they would go after CNN. Like CNN would be the first target. It's like, why did you use it? The reality is that the people who come up with this, they very much understand how human nature is like. Language is not about just words. It's also about the inflection of your voice, context, the way you say it, how you say it, right? Body language. Like, all of these are important when humans communicate with each other. And so why is it that they constantly decide to go after words? And the reason is because they want to control you. They want to control, like, if you justify the fact that this word is not to be used in any circumstance, then you already allow that there are other things, or even concepts, political ideologies, like things that you're not allowed to say. The way it's being enforced is usually through the online space. Because online is not a democracy, right? Like, online, it's a dictatorship of the Trust and Safety Council. So if the Trust and Safety dictates that this word is not to be used, well, if you use it, the algorithm suppresses you, your channel gets banned, you're not achieving anything. Like, no one is being a martyr because they got banned from social media. There have been many thinkers that have been banned, and no one gives a shit. No one is going to defend you because you got your account banned on social media by saying the word retarded. But what they want to do is they want you to take this and use this in real life. Like, they want you to do this at your job, at your workplace. Like, when you go out in the world, they want you to normalize the concept that you're not allowed to say these words. And that's the real question. Like, do you say it in real life or not? Because at the end of the day, you can't algorithmic your way into governing a society, but you can use the internet to train people like sheep in order what they are allowed to say or not in the real world. Ravioli, Balkraft. Why do they call it ravioli and not rice food? How come the word idiot is not problematic? Because, again, you're looking at it through the wrong lens. You're trying to understand why is it that... you're trying to think that they're actually caring about the minority groups. That academics all of a sudden woke up one day and they said, you know what? We need to defend people that are stigmatized, and the way we can do it is by removing a word from the language. Like, that's not what it is about. What it is about is to train you and to stop using a word. Now, to be fair, the word retard was very upsetting for the left, because when they came up with stuff like men can get pregnant, 5-year-olds can consent to transitioning, right? And people would use that word, which definitely summarizes their ideology to a T, and it fits way more perfect than any fucking glove. That's why they went after the word. Like, you'd have people that are into social justice, and they would say, 1 out of 5 women get raped on liberal campuses. And you're like, well, hold on a little bit. Like, what the fuck? Like, how can 1 out of 5 women get raped on a liberal... Are you fucking insane? Like, that's worse than the Congo. Like, you're telling me in a liberal campus, like... Right? And then the word comes in, and it fits that person so fucking well. It describes him so beautifully that the word had to be banned. I had to retard my car engine the other day because it was running all too high on an RPM. Yeah, well, that's why they also try to fuck with coding, right? Because like that never made any sense to me. So for those of you who don't know, like social justice, obviously, like it got into various fields of human activity, and one of those fields was coding. And so you're looking at it mind-fucked, and it's like, coding is already a difficult job. Not everyone can do it. It's incredibly taxing on the mind of a person. And no one gets to see the code, right? Unless you're the coder. Like, if you're the customer, if you're playing a video game, you don't know the code. You don't care, right? But they had in gaming companies HR ladies that insisted when you're coding, you stop using the word master. You stop using the word blacklist. You stop using... And they have like an entire list of words that people who code aren't allowed to use. And so you're wondering, like, okay, they're causing chaos where there shouldn't be any. Like, instead of making the job easier, instead of streamlining production, they're actually fucking with the core of the product. And now if you're a coder that's coming in and you're trying to understand someone else's code, you're like, well, hold on, where's the blacklist? Oh, we don't call it blacklist. What the fuck do you call it? And like, that's a waste of time. And if it's just one word, it's fine. But when you have like hundreds of words that used to be common sense and standardized, like master slave, for instance, and now you can't say that. Obviously, you're going to end up with code that's bug-ridden and people that are having a difficulty and they're frustrated, right? And so why do they use it? Because again, like the customer doesn't know. And the reason they're using it is to promote compliance. It's like to teach people to be obedient. Like, you're not allowed. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. Fucking do it if you want to work at this company. Mr. J, thank you for being a member for more than a year. I grew up saying regarded, and I never stopped saying it. Screw the world police. Well, this is another interesting thing, right? Not all cultures are the same. And so, like, the C word, right? Like, that's another thing I can't say on YouTube. But it's considered to be the most vile word on the English language, right? I don't know why, but it is. In Britain. In Australia, people use it as hello. Like, it's commonly used. In Australia, people use the C word all the fucking time. But for some reason, now Australians have to abide by British standards because the internet is like an umbrella for all the cultures of Earth, and we need to abide by the most sensitive cultures imaginable. Like, the culture that has, like, the most sensitive, most broad definitions of things that offend them now has to be applied worldwide. Right? So, like, if you're saying with the retarded thing, I agree with you. In Romania, we use it all the time. And here's the interesting part, right? Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a slur, sometimes it's not. Like if you go to a person that is in a wheelchair and you're calling them retarded, people will disassociate with you. People will think that you're a vile piece of shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What, you know? Like, it's not okay. Even here, right? But if you say my camera is like this retarded camera, or you say this video game is retarded, no one cares. Same word, but it's in a different context. It's used for a different purpose. But, now they try to say, well, yeah, but it's stigmatizing for those people. Yeah, but, like, if those people aren't in the fucking room, and even those people use the word, even they use it, like, let's stop pretending that everyone stops time and has, like, a philosophical argument about every word they use every single fucking time. It's not how language works. Paul Damok, thank you for being a member for more than a year. Again, no notification. I don't know what to do about it, man. I generally don't. I know that I'm being suppressed, but it is what it is. American and Brits have elevated these few words to the level of actually bloody spells. I do agree. It's part of English culture. I haven't seen any other culture on Earth that bans words. I'm not saying that there aren't. I'm not saying that, maybe they exist and I don't know. But, like, usually they ban, like, political concepts or certain talking points. But to actually ban a word, regardless of context, or even worse, you're banning a word but you're allowing certain people to use it while others can't, that's unthinkable. And unfortunately, I see other cultures, because of the internet, adopting this mindset. Like in Romania, there was a guy that got in trouble for saying the N-word. And I'm like, well, hold on a little bit. Romania never had slaves. Why are we importing American offensive things? Like, you're expecting me as a Romanian to get offended over something that I have no experiences with. I have no historical experience, no cultural experience, why would you expect that a random Romanian would give a shit about American problems that do not affect us in any way? Like, certain American problems affect us, right? Like, if there's an economic crisis in America, we care. We don't want that to happen because our nations are linked, okay? So, like, economic thing, a bad economic downturn in America affects people in Romania. But, like, slurs and American sensitivities, I would only care about them if I travel to America. Like, if I'm in America, sure, that's okay. Like, I'm not going to use words or phrases that upsets the people there because I'm a visitor, I'm a guest. But if I'm in my country and I'm talking with other people from my country, why would I care? I owe reparations to the blacks. Probably. If I moved to America, I'm pretty sure the Young Turks would make the argument. If it's such a problem, they should withdraw into their own culture and not interact with others whatsoever. Yeah, but, like, you can't do that in 2025. You have the internet. Like, how, if there was a filter on the internet where I could filter nationalities, I would fucking do it. I actually hate the centralization of the internet. Like, the internet used to be hobby-based and everyone had their own culture, right? Like, you would join the anime community and they had their own culture and their own take. You would join the furry community and they had their own culture and their own take. You would join a Bible study group and they had their own culture and their own take. Now everyone is in the same fucking place. I'm talking about my fat succubi with big fat tits, and all of a sudden this Christian guy comes in and tells me it's a sin. And I'm like, well, why the fuck is he here? Who invited him? Why is he coming to me? I don't go to his place. And I don't bring my atheism in his porch. Because now I feel morally obligated to get 10 other atheists and fuck his conversation. Right? Like if he becomes an existential threat for my succubus, I need to become an existential threat to him, right? Like tit for tat. Apparently, if people don't understand common sense and don't have basic decencies to respect others, well, then I need to play the way they do. I need to fucking win, right? Just an example. That's hyperbolic. It's not about succubus and Christians. It's about everything. Like, you're having a conversation online and all of a sudden some guy that you haven't invited, not even part of your own culture, comes in with his take. And that's what the algorithm wants. Like, because now, it's my responsibility to bring my take into his porch. If he comes and he shits in my yard, well, now I need to eat soybeans, get 5 other people with soybeans, and shit in his yard to drive the point home. Hopefully, the purpose of this is for him to stop. But if it doesn't stop, well, okay, I can leave a dead possum in his yard next time. Leave a dead horse. Like, we can escalate, you know? And the hope is that eventually people get tired of this shit, and they're like, all right, this is not sustainable, it's tiresome, you guys stay over there, we stay over here, is that good? And I'm like, fucking finally. The internet would instantly improve. I know, like, that's how the internet was supposed to be. This is why you don't allow women into your space. Depends on the space. I gotta say, I used to be a misogynist myself back in the day. Chat, before I changed, during the dark times, I was a little bit of a misogynist. I committed acts of misogyny. I was running one of the most not the most popular, one of the most top-end guilds in Eastern Europe in World of Warcraft during the Burning Crusade, right? We managed to clear most of the content under my leadership, under my firm hand. And one of the things that I realized is that I'm not going to get women in the guild. And there was like 2 reasons why I didn't get women in the guild. The first one was that many of them didn't compete under pressure. Like, the moment you had the expectations and you had the rules and regulations, they would crack. And they would see that you're mean. And it's like, okay, I don't fucking care. We're not downing the boss. Get the fuck out of my raid instance. The second reason is that you would eventually find women that would outperform men. In fact, most healers in World of Warcraft were women. And they were really good at it. I think like my thinking, my Nazi thinking, my Nazi brain was telling me that they have really good peripheral vision. And so if the encounter requires you to look at the health of the people in the guild, and at the same time to look at the raid encounter and make sure you don't stand in fire, women were really good at that shit. And so like some of the best healers in the guild were women. But the problem was that the other people didn't know how to behave while a woman was in the guild. And what I mean by this is that they would try to impress her. They would act in a stupid way. And the moment that I fucking flipped the table was we were actually progressing on a new encounter. Like it was really important because like if you underperform as a top end guild, then you lose recruits, and if you lose recruits, you lose a lot of prestige. Anyway, right? The healer in the guild actually visited our top DPS in real life. Like she went from Sweden to England and was sucking him off during an encounter. And they were both underperforming. Like, they were both dying, they were laughing, they weren't taking this shit seriously. Obviously, I had to kick both. But in order to prevent that from happening, because, like, here's the thing, like, a lot of people were like, well, V, like, what are you doing? And, like, my answer was like, look, you fucking moron. There are 27 people in the guild, right? All of these 27 people are investing their time and their money wanting entertainment. For the 22 other people, it's not entertaining if 2 idiots are sucking each other off during a raid. Like, they can do it before, they can do it after, I don't fucking care. Why are they doing it during? Like, why are they punishing and disrespecting the 23 other people that also want to play a game, and they expect that you focus and that you do your best, because they're doing their best, right? Like, if they use their time in order to give their best in those 4 hours that we're raiding, why aren't you returning that respect? Now, if you don't like that, and you want to play casually, or you don't take the game as seriously as all the others, then other guilds for you. Like, I'm not saying you should not install the game. Go play in a fun guild, you know? Go and listen to Michael Jackson while you're doing Karazhan, as other guilds are doing. You know, listen to song, music, whatever. You know, go have fun. But don't stay in a top world guild and do this type of activity when other people are taking the game seriously. Right? Like, yeah, they were giving their best head. I know. Anyway, like, the thing is, I actually buck broken a woman in World of Warcraft. Like, this was I was the raid leader in another guild. I was a guild master, and I had like the same misogynistic tendencies. It's like this is not a game where men and women can play at the higher end competitiveness, because men just don't act normally around women, right? Like they spurg out. And so this woman comes in, this paladin. We were doing 10-man 3 drakes at the time in Wrath of the Lich King. She's a paladin, and I start riding her ass. I'm like really annoyed because like she got in through acquaintances. On top of that, you know, like literally it's because the guildmaster liked her. All the red flags to me, like that pissed me the fuck off. You know, you get in because of your nepotism. All right, let's see what you can do. And so I start riding her like really hard. I bitch about her gear, constantly complain about her, mock her, ridicule her. It's like, do you want me to hold your hand to move out of the fire? Like, are you that incompetent? What is it? Like, do you wear glasses? Well, put them the fuck on because you're sitting in a void zone. Look, you killed 5 people. How do you feel? Let's ask the guys. Hey, Tank, how much did you spend for a repair body today? 25 gold? Oh, well, that's probably not enough to Miss Princess here because she thought that you're supposed to die. Right? So next time, just farm a little bit more because Princess is going to play with us, right? Like that was how I was raid leading, just nonstop. I was expecting her to quit, unironically. Like, I was just like, any day now, she's going to quit. Any fucking day. Either that or they're going to kick me. Which was also preferably. I don't like playing in guilds that weren't meritocratic based. I didn't like doing any of this nepotism shit. Motherfucker, she improved. Like, she actually went on guides, actually learned how to fucking play, and then came back into the raid. I couldn't complain. There was nothing there. Like she was playing perfectly. And on top of that, now she started flaming other paladins, teaching them how to play. I have never been more impressed in my entire fucking life. Like, I had the tear on my cheek. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Am I falling in love? What is going on? It's like, this is not normal. This is weird. This is weird, Chad. This is just not the way nature's supposed to work. She was the best healer on the fucking server when we were done with her. Like she came in as a random person that just dinged level 70. And by the time she left our guild, she was like one of the most sought-after healers in the entire fucking guild. Never been late for a single raid. Always came up with consumables. Would flame the living shit out of you and increase morale. Because now it's not just a random twat flaming you. It's a woman flaming you. And she also looked hot. She had big tits. And it's like, well, if she plays good, what is your justification? Yeah, today I would have probably been banned. Absolutely. But at the time, I have managed to create a legend. I don't know what happened with her. I do know that one of the best guilds, not in the world, but in Eastern Europe, also wanted to recruit her. And eventually, like, our guild disbanded because I stopped playing, because I thought the game is boring. And when I stopped playing, a lot of the people stopped as well. Because they weren't focused on meritocracy. They were focused on friendship, puppies, and kittens. And it's like, okay. I used to be top DPS in World of Warcraft. Rogue, Death Knight, Warlock. I used to play Warlock, and I was also top DPS. This sounds the plot of a 90s movies. I see. Well, I don't know. It's just like, my whole morality with running a guild in a video game was like, we're all people. We're all spending money. And we all decided that the reason we played the game is to finish endgame content, right? Like, that is the purpose of why you want to join my guild. Because I was thinking, like, different people play for different reasons. Some people play for role-playing reasons. Other people play for the story. Other people play because they want to have fun and meet new people. Like, all of the reasons are valid. And this is why every server has, like, 20 or 30 different guilds, right? And so if you want to play the game because you have fun, you join a social guild. If you want to play the game for story, you join a guild for that. But if you want to play the game competitively, and you want to be, like, considered the best on the server, well, you join my guild. And so I have a responsibility towards, like, 40 people to make absolutely sure that when the raid happens, everyone gives their best, and no one makes fun of your time. Because it was a time investment, right? Like, it was 4 hours a day, 3 days a week, and the rule was you sign up if you want to show up, and once you signed up, you show up and you play for 4 hours. Anything less means you get kicked from the guild. That was the only rule. I didn't care about anything else. If you can't play, I will teach you. If you don't know, I will show you. And if you don't want to, I will fucking kick you. That was it, you know? But, like, the only rule was, like, you need to show up 3 days a week. Raid starts at 8 p.m. Raid ends at 12 p.m. There's no ifs, there's no buts. If you can't do this, find another guild. And so, I managed to start with absolute no ones, and I managed to go all the way up until the endgame content. Cleared shit before everyone else. And that's all it takes. You know, no nepotism, no shit. Complete meritocratic. If I had like an officer bitch about another guy, even if the officer was in the right, I would just look at the DPS chart and I would say, this guy does more DPS than you, shut the fuck up. In other words, you're replaceable, this guy isn't. This guy is performing, you're not. Like that was the only thing that I cared. This guy, or maybe like this guy has potential. You know, maybe he's not performing well, but he shows up for every single raid. Never went offline, never disconnected. Sounds very corn. I see. I play games to have fun. Well, exactly. It means that you wouldn't be welcome in my guild. It's not that your way of playing is wrong. It's just that the people that joined my guild had fun by being competitive, right? Like, that's another way of having fun. There's different people playing chess. There's people playing chess to pass the time. There's people playing chess because they have nothing else to do. And then there's the people playing chess because they want to be the grandmaster. And for them, fun is climbing the elo, learning new things, which means that there should be a space for people that have fun while being competitive, right? And those people don't have fun when someone that's not competitive joins and wastes their time. And so I would make sure that every recruiter, every new person joining the guild was aware of this. It's like, why do you want to join my guild? What do you hope to gain out of it? And if they were like, you know, I just want to make new friends, okay, no. No. The only acceptable answer is because I want to be the best. That's it, right? Simple. Doesn't mean we can't be friends outside of the guild. Doesn't mean you can't invite your friends that are just social and just talk. Like, you can do that. But like when we raid, if you want to be a raider, right, you need to have the mindset. World of Warcraft right now is very competitive. Is it? Because I heard the opposite. Bulgaria is getting the euro before Romania. That's not something to celebrate. Jesus, imagine paying my taxes in euros. Holy shit. Anyway, right? Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you on my other channels. Gonna upload the videos there. And take care.